Girl, stop playing.
Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Koereyelle, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. You already know that I believe you can make the money and you can get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. And it is my goal to bring you the information and the conversations to help you do just that. Now, before we get into this week's solo sermon, I got to let you know that if you have been on the fence trying to figure out whether podcasting is for you, I got what you need. Have created the podcast startup guide, and you can get this thing for just $27. Okay, I'm gonna link it below. Definitely worth every penny, because inside of this guide I am sharing with you why podcasting is the wave of the future and why you cannot afford to miss out. Okay, if you are a business owner, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you're putting the final touches on your new product, your podcast is absolutely the perfect way for you to be able to promote it passively. Inside of the podcast startup guide, I'm also sharing with you my secret 3-step strategy to turn a popular podcast into a profitable podcast. Because our goal isn't just to make the top podcast charts. We want to make sure we are actually profiting so that the math is mathing and it's making sense. And I'm also sharing with you 6 strategies for how you can actually monetize your podcast. So outside of just getting sponsored ads and brand deals, which of course is the goal, there are other subtle ways that I've learned over the last 8 years since I've had a podcast that I am sharing with you so that you can get paid from the start. So make sure you check out the show notes below so that you can grab the podcast startup guide. And again, it's only $27. So get in where you fit in. Now, as we approach Love Day, the day where we celebrate love, unless you're, single and upset and you might not be celebrating love, this might be the not so great time for you, okay? And I can literally, and I'm doing this episode settling season because I know that so many of the women who tune in and tap into the show each and every week are single. I know that y'all are interested in exploring not just entrepreneurship, but y'all want to explore relationships. And so I can definitely relate to being sour on Valentine's Day, like being upset and stressed out and looking at what everybody else has and kind of rolling your eyes because you don't necessarily have what you want at this moment. I can literally remember a Valentine's Day. It might have been like 10 years ago, okay, where I had started working out, and I would go on like these 60-day workout binge things where I would work out real hard for 60 days and then I would just quit. So I was in the middle of one of these workout seasons, and I was so distraught that I didn't have a Valentine's Day, or that I didn't have a Valentine and I didn't have anybody to celebrate Valentine's Day with, that I literally was like, well, forget it. I don't have nothing to do tonight. I'm just going to go to the gym. Y'all, I pulled up at the gym, and this was like a small gym. So it was owned by, small business owners. 2 women owned the gym. I pulled up at the gym. The parking lot is empty. I still get my foolish self out of the car, walk up to the front door, and there's a sign on the door that's like, we're closed today, enjoy Valentine's Day. Baby, when I tell you the tears started falling before I could even get back to the car, in my mind, that meant to me that I was literally like the only woman in the city without a Valentine. Like, I'm the only woman who is struggling and stressed out and single as shit and frustrated and just disgusted at my reality. And in this moment, I really started to question like my priorities, like my me as a person, like what is it that's wrong with me? Why don't I have anybody to spend time with or enjoy this day with? And so I can literally remember the feeling. Like I might be happily married now, but I can remember the feeling of like feeling less than, of feeling like I was missing out, of like looking around at everyone else's life and just thinking about everything that I was lacking. And so if that's you, I definitely wanted to just bring y'all a word of encouragement, to not start questioning yourself and to not start losing faith in God, and to understand that there is somebody, a perfect somebody out there being prepared for you right now. In this moment, he's being prepared to love you properly. Okay, but all you got to do is get yourself in position. That's your goal. Instead of being a sourpuss, instead of looking around at what everybody else has going on, thinking about all the things that you're lacking, you got to prepare yourself, put yourself in position. And a lot of times, you know, these books that we read, these blogs, even podcasts that we listen to around dating and relationships, they talk about, you know, like making the list, the law of attraction, which I 1000% believe in the law of attraction. I 100% believe in making a list. But the part that they seem to leave out is the fact that you have to not only make the list, but you have to become a match to the list. So all of the things that you want in a mate, how are you a match to that? Are you the type of woman that that mate is actually preparing for right now? And if you're not, if you can, you know, take that honest assessment of yourself and figure out some things that you need to work on, start there. Get really, really busy becoming the best possible woman, because then you're going to start attracting better options for yourself. So start there. The other thing that I think a lot of people overlook a lot of the times is the fact that it's possible that you don't have what you want yet. Underline the yet, because you haven't taken the time to figure out what you want. And for a lot of us, ladies, we've been basing our relationships, our choices on other people's opinions. We are making decisions. We're going on dates based on what our mama want, based on what our best friend got going on, based on what homegirl on Instagram is doing. And we have not really determined what it is that we truly want. And so in this season, I want to definitely encourage you to, yes, focus on making this your last single season, but do not allow this to become settling season. Settling season, something I came up with a decade ago when I had the Single Wives Club. Settling season is like that time when, you know, you're out of college, you're into your career, you've started your business, you're not necessarily meeting potential partners as regularly as you once were when you were in college or going to the clubs or doing, you know, the young hot girl things. You're not meeting as many potential partners as you once were. And so now you're starting to question things. Now that clock is starting to tick tock really, really loud. Every single time you get on Facebook, it's like, yo, somebody else is getting married. Somebody else is having a baby shower. Like, I'm just going to log off. I'm just going to log off before I lose it. Settling season is that time when you start to question yourself and when you start to consider options that would, in fact, be you settling. You're like, well, maybe I should just call so-and-so. I know he'll at least spend some time with me. Maybe I should hit up homeboy because I at least know he'll entertain me. He'll, you know, provide me with some companionship. And so not only do we slip back into our comfort zones, slip back into comfortable situationships, a lot of times that leads us to settling for things that are less than what we are worthy of. And I am here to tell you that the more time, the more energy, the more attention you give to guys who are not worthy of your time, the more you're actually wasting your time. And not only are you wasting your time, it's literally like hitting the pause button on your life, because you are blocking out that man who is really meant for you, he can't even get in where he fit in. He can't even get your attention because you are putting your attention and your energy and your time into someone who's a waste of time. That person who you're in that situationship with, who you're settling for, is literally taking up space. He's blinding you from what it is that you could be blessed with. Okay, the man for you can't even, like, he's over here waving in your direction and you're not even looking over there because you're so busy entertaining someone who you're settling for. And so I want to encourage you not to allow the stress of Valentine's Day or the stress of this season that you're in. Don't allow this stress to push you into settling, to convince you that you should just settle for what you can get versus waiting for what you are worth. Okay, waiting for what you deserve, not just what you desire. You desire companionship. That doesn't mean you should be willing to take it from whoever's willing to give it. Should I say who she is? Okay, I'm not going to put her business out there. So I'm not going to say who she is because I was about to tell y'all and you would definitely know. I'm just going to say I literally have a case study on this, okay, from last year. So at the beginning of 2022, someone I'm really close to said to me, I'm really like ready to find my husband. And now this is a conversation I have often because people know my Single Wives Club story. People know my manifestation, you know, how I was able to manifest a mess of a man and how I was able to manifest the man of my dreams. People know I've been there, done that. I've written a book about it. Okay. And so at the beginning of 2022, I hosted a virtual event. It was called the It was called the Single Season Summit. And it was literally a one-day virtual event where I shared for 4 hours. I shared strategies and principles and practices for single women who wanted to prepare to be loved properly, for single women who really were ready to like put the action behind all of these dreams and goals and fantasies of finding their forever. And so this person signed up for the Single Season Summit, and she would literally say, she came to the event and she would just tell me like, this is my last single season. She was posting it all over Instagram like, this is my last single season. And you know, for the next few months she would give me updates. She would tell me about this guy, you know, that she was dating, and that guy that she was dating, and how it was going, and the things that he was saying and the things that he was doing and all of the things. And y'all, do you know that before 2022 ended, she had a ring on her finger? And she's now preparing and planning for her wedding. When I tell you that God's timeline is so perfect, like there is no time when it comes to God. Okay, a lot of times we're trying to rush things that ain't right. We're trying to rush into situations that just are not right for us. But when we truly do the work, okay, we're not just waiting on God to drop somebody in our lap, but when we're willing to do the work, when we're willing to hold out for what we are truly worth and what we truly deserve, the pieces of the puzzle will come together. And so if you are serious about turning what could right now be your settling season into your last single season, I want to just give you a couple of things to consider. Okay. First thing that I want you to really start doing right now, as soon as this episode is over, I want you to start getting real about the result that you desire. So when I was single as hell, I was so serious about the type of man that I desired. And I'm not talking about superficial things like he has to look this way or he has to have this particular career. He has to make this amount of money and drive this car. That's how I manifested a mess in my 20s. Okay. In my 30s, I was wiser. And so I knew that I had to focus on the things that I needed and not just the silly little things that I thought I wanted, because people change. And homeboy might show up looking like this list, but life comes at us fast, okay? So in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, he might be looking totally different. So if that's all that I was focused on, I was going to be frustrated. So instead of thinking about all of the silly things that you think are important, that you think that you want. Really think about like what you need in terms of a partner. Okay, you're not looking for someone to complete you. You're looking for someone to complement you. What type of man would complement your lifestyle? I don't think we think about lifestyle enough. So if you love to travel, you probably are looking for a travel partner. If you love church, you're probably looking for someone who loves Jesus too, right? And so really get down to the nitty gritty of the result that you desire. Get real about the result that you desire and not just the silly little things that we like to dream about, that we were, wishing for when we were little girls. I'm talking about a real grown woman assessment. What truly makes your spirit smile? Like, what are some of the type of things you want him to say to you? What are some of the things that you want to do together, that you want to experience together? How do you want to grow with this partner? So get your grown woman list together, okay? Get really real about the result that you desire. If you desire a family man, if you desire a wise man, like what are the things that are truly going to matter 10 years from now? Not just the silly thing that matters today, but I want you to think future, father, okay? If you desire to have children, what type of man is qualified to raise your children with you? What he looks like, it does matter because we don't want to mix genes with somebody who, you know what I'm saying. It does matter. I'm not saying it shouldn't matter, okay? But is that all that matters? Absolutely not. So get real about the result you desire. And then I want you to get intentional about how you're spending your time. Because once you know what you want, everything that you do should be a reflection of what you want. You have to keep your attention on your intention. So if your intention is to birth a healthy, happy family, not just have a baby, but you got family fever, not baby fever, that means the things that you are doing should be a reflection of that. So if your goal is to have a family, that means you don't have time for Netflix and chilling. You don't have time to be a sneaky link. You don't have time to be a side piece. You don't have time for a booty call, because that is not going to lead you to a family. Every action has to be in alignment with the things that you desire. So get intentional about how you're spending your time. Get serious about who you are sharing your space, your energy, and your body with. Again, it's about being intentional. You can't say you want one thing, but then your life is a reflection of something totally different. Your actions must match. Your words must match. It all has to be in alignment with what it is that you want to attain. So you're going to get real about the result that you desire. You're going to get intentional about how you're spending your time. You're going to get serious about who you share your space and your energy and your body with. And you're going to let go of anything and anyone who is no longer in alignment without apology. It's time to let go. Truly, it's time to clear space of anything that no longer serves you. And sometimes it's not a situationship that's no longer serving you. Sometimes it's a friendship. Sometimes you got somebody in your ear talking you out of your blessings, or in your ear with so much negativity that you can't even create space and time to think about what you truly desire, because they're putting off their negative energy, their negative expectations on you. So clear space. Let go of anything and anyone who is no longer in alignment with what you truly desire. If you got to cut off friends, men's, whoever you got to cut off and let go of, now is the time to do that if you're serious. It's so important that you learn how to keep your eyes on your own prize, not getting caught up in what somebody else has, not spending all your time watching what somebody else is doing, so much so that you don't have time to focus on yourself. You have to keep your eyes on your own prize. And lastly, you have to start prioritizing your peace, because anything other than that is not worth your time. So as you prepare to be loved properly, as you focus on becoming the woman that God created you to be so that you can connect with and attract and get in alignment with the man who God created for you, if the feeling that he brings is not of peace, I promise he's not the partner for you. He is not the partner you've been praying for if he doesn't bring you peace. That's like the easiest way to decide and discern whether or not this person is for you. Do they bring you peace? Are they full of chaos? Do they have negative energy? Or are they bringing more peace into your life? Grown women prioritize peace. We don't have time for drama because it's fun and exciting, because it makes us feel good, because it gives us something to do, because it feels comfortable. Nope, we're prioritizing peace. And I promise you, if you start implementing these 6 steps, that's how you can avoid settling season. That's how you can make this your last single season. I hope that you are feeling inspired, encouraged, and ready to be loved properly by that perfect person who is meant to compliment you. I love you. I got nothing but love for you. And I'll see you on the next episode.